Hey guys, it's Michelle Holling-Brooks and I am here. This is October vlog, and today the topic that I thought would be great to talk about is the changing of seasons and how that's also reflected in the changing of ourselves in our life journey. And in case you didn't know, the name of our organization is Unbridled Change. And I named it that not because I absolutely love change, but because I needed to learn how to unbridle the resistance that I had to change, because there is one universal law that the seasons changing always reminds me of, and that is that everything is always in constant motion. And when things are in constant motion, sometimes that's really good. Like if I'm going through a rough patch and I can think to myself, okay, Michelle, this is going to pass, everything's in constant motion, you just have to hold on until we get to the other side. But when I really like how my life is going and I like everything that I've created and I feel good and in the flow, the idea of it starting to change and to evolve or open new doors can get a little scary, and we can start to put constraints on ourselves and do what Carolyn Mace calls putting down anchors. And the problem with anchors is that they stop us in the flow of life. And life, like right now, we're moving into fall and it's a beautiful morning out here. It's always designed to constantly be evolving, to going through the cycles of birth and growth and stability and then harvest and then back down into the water element of getting things ready and preparing and then back out through. And we're supposed to move through that cycle of the different elements even within our own personal life and journey. So the quick tip for you guys today that I have found, unfortunately sometimes through the low path, are 3 tips that I always remind myself of when I start to feel like change is coming. My natural instincts is always to dig in my heels and say, no, I really like my life the way it is. And I have found that that is the woe path. If I choose the wisdom path, the first thing I need to do, remind myself, is that resistance is futile. I mean, it truly is. The nature of our nature is to be in constant motion. That is a universal law. And so if I resist the evolving and growing and being on my personal path of journey, then that means that I am going against the flow of my nature, which is going to create discomfort, it's going to create dis-ease, it's going to create a whole bunch of ripples that I don't really need in my life. So the first thing I do is I remind myself, okay, I feel change a knocking, and I can either resist it, which means it's going to knock harder, louder, and eventually get a 2x4 to knock down my door, or I can say, all right, come on in, let's see what's happening. And most of the time it's fear that keeps me from opening that door, fear that I'm going to have to change everything in my life. And most of the time I find out that it's only 1 or 2 things that I need to tweak to bring myself back into balance. So the second step in my 3-step process is, 1, I open the door. Number 2 is that I start to look at why I'm afraid to open that door. So I go on a little expedition of excavating where I have some anchors that are unhealthy or out of balance in my life, and how I can pull those up and bring myself back into balance. And then I remind myself of the 3rd step. And the 3rd step is that it's not always going to be pretty. Change sometimes feels like a rocky road. Sometimes it feels awesome and exhilarating and I can't wait to jump into it. Other times I feel like, I don't know, this is going to be a lot of obstacles for me to overcome. And the way I remind myself to stay in my power as I jump back into that flow of life and ride maybe some few little rapids till I get to some still water, is I remind myself that there is joy everywhere. Like this morning is beautiful. The sun is shining after a lot of rain. The leaves are starting to change. The berries are coming out. There is joy surrounding me, even if I'm in the middle of a chaos storm in one part of my life. And even if that chaos storm is my whole entire life, there is still joy in those moments. Now, some days it might just be, hey, I have toilet paper and running water. Check, I can live with that. I found my joy, and then I move on. But other days I can do like today, and there's just a huge list. And so I focus on where I can find my joy and my power and my little bit of footing, and instead of focusing on the what ifs and the fears that are just based on the past, not the future that is getting ready to come to me. So those are my quick tips as the seasons are changing. There's a couple questions down below. Feel free to take a look at that. And I'm getting ready to start a mini series about bringing our body's energy systems into balance. So if you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, go ahead and do that now, or get on our mailing list, because that mini series is going to be coming out, and it's going to walk you through the different ways we can bring our body's energy into balance, ground ourselves, get our energy flowing in the right direction so that we have the stamina to rock out the change that is coming our way. And it's the holidays coming up, so we all need some stamina and a little bit of joy in our lives. All right, so sending light and love to you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks.